having a great day so far. Josh here. You guys having an amazing day so far. So today we are going to be talking about the lovely fellas at okay. That's not a good start. We're going to start with Financial Fridays. Nice using VS Code now. Yep, it's actually a lot better. It's like a dark mode. But we're talking about FTX, and so if you guys don't know what FTX is a crypto exchange that it became insolvent. It had conditions that it's like a bank. That's the funny part is all these crypto bros rally fucking hard against banks, yet they're literally a fucking bank, okay, without regulations. So they had a regulation that basically if you gave them their crypto, if you gave them your crypto into their wallets, they owned the crypto. Okay, you didn't own the crypto, they gave you an IOU. So if you guys don't understand the difference between you owning it, you owning your shares, and another person owning your shares, you don't know the difference, is that if they go insolvent, your shares become their collateral that they pay debtors to. Okay, that they pay their debt back with. Now, if you own your shares outright and use the exchange as a trading platform, you own your shares. If that exchange goes down, you still keep your shares regardless. They have no reprisal on keeping your shares basically as well. So you got to realize the difference that let's just say in a normal share exchange, most brokers do not own your shares. Okay, this is what's the difference between crypto. In the crypto exchanges, most of them own your crypto, but give you an IOU. Do you notice the difference? Do you notice how a key difference that is? Okay, if you don't know the key difference, and if let's say ComSec goes bust, ComSec can't sell your shares to repay its debt because you own your shares. It's under your name, unless it's custodian. Oh, no, actually, if it's custodian, you still get it's still yours. It's held beneficiary for you. So no, okay. Now crypto, they can sell your shit. They can sell your crypto to get liquidity to repay their debtors. To debts. This is what you call a bank run, just an FYI. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, a bank run shouldn't be happening to exchanges. Okay? Simply put. Like, there should be no such thing as a bank run on exchanges. So, if you don't understand that, like, if you're struggling to understand why FTX was very, very risky in the first place, was the fact that it gave you an IOU on your crypto. And if you think that's normal compared to the real world, then I got a shock for you. It ain't normal. That's actually really, really scary. Like, you gotta read through these terms and conditions, and if it says, oh yeah, your assets are still mine, so if we go bankrupt, we can sell your assets, hee hee hee, ha ha ha. I wouldn't invest in it and get straight away from it, okay? Because that seems like it wants to get all the gains, but doesn't want to take any of the risk, okay? So you're taking the risk, but they want to receive all the gains as well by having a decent exchange or a decent platform. It's called individual gains, socialized losses kind of system, okay? Which is kind of funny because that's the system that I'm trying to bat against, saying that, the banks run an unfair system and it's capital gains and socialized losses. It's like, interesting. You guys want to run the same thing too. Now, overall, it gets hacked, okay? FTX gets hacked literally days after it goes bankrupt. And you gotta ask how, what, and who. Which and also 600 million crypto goes away from it. This is this is why crypto is not only should be listed as a highly risky collectible asset, it's an unregulated wild west. And if you're like putting your life savings into here, I can tell you right now, you gotta be expecting to not go home with a single penny at this stage, okay? Because it's got this contagion. If you guys don't know what contagion is if it happens to one exchange, it goes to the rest. And given that the other exchanges really don't give a crap that FTX went under, it shows the business proposition that these guys are. They're all in it for themselves, okay? If they cared about the industry as a whole and stuff like that as well, they'll be making sure that FTX didn't go bankrupt. Now, there's two reasons why they could not be helping FTX. One, they are screwed themselves, which is a possibility, because not many people are buying crypto anymore. People getting out of crypto because they see the interest rates go up by 4% and be like, oh crap, I'm going to pay off my home loan. and it says, "Goodbye, crypto. You were nice. You were fun. Money out of here. See ya." And no one's buying crypto anymore because crypto has very little use. That's why I deem it as a collectible, because there's very, very little use outside of its actual exchange or outside of its little cult. Oh, I don't call it a cult, but like outside of its little uh posse. Okay, like if you're not into the crypto sphere, you don't buy crypto. Vice versa. But yeah, like a lot of the exchanges when they were doing well, they're all about onboarding people and trying to get people through the door and be like, oh my god, crypto's a new thing. They even released articles of it in some of my CPD points. Like basically have to get education points to be a financial advisor. They were releasing articles about how crypto is going to be a new thing and you can put cryptos into your self-managed super funds and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here like, the last fucking thing I'm going to put my fucking clients into is a goddamn crypto asset in my super fund, okay? Like, if I want to quickly get struck off as a financial advisor, recommending crypto is probably the number one fucking reason on how. You know, like, seriously. I know I'm railing against crypto, but, like, so a lot of these exchanges were literally, like, writing fluff articles about how it will be good for this sort of investment and stuff like that because it went up by 900% in 1 year. And I'm, like, sitting there going, like, yeah, so did Beanie Babies. So did all of these collectible things that now are worth nothing and stuff like that. And also as well, you had finfluencers who had no idea about the financial field, trying to tell people that hey, it's going to go to the moon, okay, like going to go to the moon, stuff like that. And you also had some people who were like, you know, they know a lot in the financial space, get fooled by this shit. And this is pretty basic on like, hey, do you realize that you're giving your crypto away? It's an IOU, man, system. It's pretty risky. You might as well invest in like, you know, normal blue chips and stuff like that. Like, I had a financial meeting, you know, with our investment committee and stuff like that. Obviously, of course, I'm not going to divulge anything. But I can tell you right now, there's a lot more figures and numbers and a lot less FOMO and bullshit in that meeting. Like, they were actually talking about figures. They were actually talking about all economy statistics and stuff like that. They weren't talking about to the moon, market cap, crypto, you know, their field feels. They're actually talking about, like, you know, legitimate science in the market and stuff like that. Now with FTX, okay? I'm going to say straight up, if you've got any money in crypto, you might as well take the losses now before you just have to wait 2 to 3 years before you even get any asset back. Yet, if you get any assets back. Because these exchanges, like, the game's up, okay? The game's up, the jig's up, the time's up. Everyone's really feeling the squeeze of liquidity at the moment. The jig's up, guys, okay? Like, it is going boom. And now people are like, oh, but the last time that Bitcoin, you know, went boom as well and it came back up once again, bigger and powerful. Mate, the entire time that crypto's been alive has been during a time where there's been 0.1% interest rates in Australia. Okay, very low interest rates. That's the only time it's started running. And you know what? When that happens generally is when markets are booming. And this is why it's got a collectible behavior, because when markets are going down, funnily enough, like, you know, when markets and interest are going up, you know, and also markets going down, the collectibles are the first thing to suffer. Crypto is the first thing to suffer. Sun also brought up a good point as well. Also, last time, not many people knew crypto. Now everyone knows about it. So, that sort of thing. So, basically, I think they're implying that Bitcoin and crypto is a bit of a Ponzi scheme. Okay? Now, I gotta say right now, if you didn't listen to SBF describe, the CEO of FTX describe his exchange as a box of money, that if you put more money goes in the box and the box becomes magically valuable, that should have been a warning sign to not invest in FTX, okay? Just an FYI, okay? If someone describes to you that a box becomes more money because people put money into it and becomes more valuable magically, that is a Ponzi scheme. You should stay away from that, okay? A company needs to provide a service, not that if you put money in, it generates money. If there's such a company like that, you wouldn't believe it. But anyway, with the hacking stuff as well, we have no idea who hacked it. And they're $600 million richer. And, well, people who are in the lower end who had an exchange with FTX, good luck getting your money back. Now, not to mention as well, FTX has sponsored a large number of esports teams as well. Obviously, those deals are being negotiated and dropped. So FTX is being dropped everywhere. I gotta say right now, any of those teams, any of those sponsors who did any due diligence in FTX should be embarrassed about the lack of due diligence they did into that company. Mate, like, did you know what their collateral was? Their collateral was a liquid coins. Like, with coin, like with a liquid coins are like 20 times worse than property to sell. Now you can be like, oh, properties can be quite hard to sell. Like, no, it can be quite easy to sell. It can be also quite hard to sell when you have to wait 3 or 4 months or so before you get a buyer. Okay, we got an image here as well. Also, as well, yeah, that actually brings me to another point. FTX also tried to raise capital. Now, I'm gonna say this: if you're raising capital to improve liquidity, to keep the company alive, without a service, nobody is going to invest. I know a few companies have done this, but these companies actually have, like, these are mostly mining companies. And they have, yeah, we have a good field, we have a good prospect, we can mine out of the ground if we get some more money. This guy was trying to get more money for nothing, okay? Like, to try to keep the company alive. No one is going to invest in that, okay? If you think that's a good investment to keep the company alive, therefore you put more money in, and this person's trying to raise their capital from the market and not putting any of their capital in, that's a red flag. Get out. If people aren't putting their own skin in the game to get that capital happening, just run. Just run a mile away. But that's pretty much it for FTX. I know I've railed against crypto a lot in that segment, but my lord, like, some people gotta realize, like, there's a lot of these red flags. Welcome to investing. Look out for those red flags, okay? Like, getting given IOU on a trading exchange, people raising capital to do something but not really explaining the service that they're doing, and kind of realize, like, what they are trying to raise their capital or raise your interest on, because a lot of these people seem to raise their interest on the fact that it was going to the moon, was futurely going to be their crypto coin of the future, that everyone was going to go to it, yet they had no actual plan on how they would do it. Like, yeah, no actual plan. It was just puff. Just remember that with, any future stuff as well, because it happened with Beanie Babies, now it's happened with crypto, and now you guys are beginning to realize, that to just trust actual companies, like, you gotta have a person go through an actual business plan, not bzz, money goes up kind of thing. Like, a lot of these companies and stuff like that people said are bad, like banks, for example, and stuff like that. Banks still have a business plan. Mining companies have a business plan. Oil companies have a business plan. Telecommunications have a business plan of what they want to do and what they want to achieve. It's not money. It's not like stock market goes up. So when you go to your next investment, let's say, going to a new investment, a risky investment, ask the guy what he's going to do, how he's going to do it, and stuff like that as well. Okay, if they've got some sort of plan other than, like, this box gives me money, then you could be on a winner. That sort of stuff. Now let's talk about the market. Okay, the market is a interesting thing. Okay, the ASX. The market is very interesting at the moment. Okay, interest rates have gone up 2.5%, yet the ords is 7.3k. Now it has dropped down from 7.7k at its highest, but you would think 2.5% interest rate is huge for the ords. Like, think about it. Like, it's a 2.5% extra additional expenses for every company on the interest rate, maybe even higher. And some companies may, like, fall apart from it as well. Now, one thing that people have said as well is that fixed loans. Okay, a lot of people on mortgages fix their loan at about 2 to 3% during the low interest periods. Majority of these will expire in 2024. So there's a reason why it may have not impacted that much yet. It's because people are on fixed loans. So the impact may look at 2023, 2024, whenever these fixed loans expire. So that's the funny part. So that's probably the reason why the all odds is at a bit higher pace, is that people are still paying 2% on the interest rate on their loans. Only a few people paying 5% like myself. In fact, I had a raise on my home loan rate once again to 5.93%. Which will be incredibly fun to pay off, by the way. So those are the impacts you want to look at as well. Now, people are going to say, like, okay, what asset performed? The only asset that performed positively over the last year was cash. Now, the funny part is, it still has a negative return after considering inflation. Okay? So, really, no asset performed in the last 12 months. Okay? Just remember that. No asset really performed in the last 12 months. So, if you've lost money, like, on like, not paper, it's like, yeah, everyone lost money, okay? Like, very few funds perform positively in the last 12 months. So, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Now, this is the really weird part. The market is still in a pretty decent position, but it's heavily volatile because of the interest rates. Now, with the interest rates, I'm going to say interest rates are going to go up. Why? Inflation is at 7.75%. Pretty much, I'll just use a text to answer it there, but inflation's at 7.75%. I don't think interest rates are going to go down anytime soon. A lot of the markets are hoping that the Federal Reserve and the RBA will give up. But I'm going to tell you straight up, they won't. They probably won't give up. They probably have to raise interest rates. Because the reality is, you can't have people on like 2% interest rates, 3% interest rates forever. Because your economy is just going to run away and get too big too quickly, where it can't actually fill the capacity that it has. I mean, one example is understaffing. Understaffing. Have you noticed that a lot of areas are understaffed? This is the reason why you need to slow down economy. Like, that's why you need to slow it down. Because if you go grow too quick, too fast, you don't have enough people, and then your economy comes to a halt. Mine went from 2.69 when I got last year into 4.8. Yeah, basically interest rates have gone up by 2%. And the only way you can get it reduced really is just by calling them. And I'll see what I can do by calling them as well. But this is what happens when the economy grows too quickly. And this actually sides to the point on why I feel like, that obviously this is not financial advice by any stretch of imagination, but this is why I feel like that the economy, using obviously general information I have available to me and stuff like that, and also the subjective information that I have available to me, is that, yeah, like a lot of places are looking for staff. Like, the problem is that we have a lack of manpower. And I've seen a business go under. I've seen a few businesses go under because of lack of staff. So overall, like, a lot of companies are going and stuff like that. But the problem is that they're growing too quickly. Therefore, they're trying to look for staff, but can't find any. And they get to the point where they've got too much work, but also their expenses are going up because of the inflation, because of COVID, and then they'll go bankrupt. That's the biggest issue here. That's why they have to try and stop the economy from getting to that point where, like, there is just too much growth, but not enough people to fuel that growth, basically. Like, China is a big example of this, where they aim for, constant growth all the time, and now they have literal ghost cities. Okay, like, all the things they've built and produced, they're not going to be using for a very long time, and they're going to get to a point where their productions and stuff like that, like the ghost cities and stuff like that, are going to be for like a nil investment because no one's actually going to live in them. And that's pretty much with the ASX so far. So we've actually delved into the economy overall. But it's just quite weird. Despite all of that, the ASIC's still holding quite firm. Now the reason is, like I say right now, I said the fixed loans as well. Interest rates are probably going to go up. Well, I'm going to say right now, I'd be very, very surprised if there's no interest rate hike from the RBA within the next 6 months. Be very surprised if they hold dovish, but I'm very, very sure that that interest rate is going to go up. Now, the reason why it's for is that they've got to slow down the economy. They've got to make sure that the staffing issue that people, basically the job at tedium goes back to normal. The government, I've got to say, the Australian government, the Labor government, are not really helping this because the Australian government want to raise wages by CPI, while CPI is at 7.575%, which companies who are already struggling with interest rate rise also going to get hit with a fucking huge wage bill as well, which is not going to help them out at all. And then that's going to double whammy the ASX, who is like, the company's trying to grow at an extent, but doesn't have the capacity to grow at an extent because it doesn't have enough staff. And that just goes all crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, there's a few reasons why we don't have enough staff is that population growth isn't that huge. The lack of immigration during COVID. There's a lot of variety of reasons why. And you're going to enjoy looking at them all. Now, is this going to cause a recession in Australia? Doubtful, to be honest. It's just basically going to be less growth. That's it. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys have a good one. And yeah, hope you guys learned a bit about the economy. Enjoy the YouTube video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and hope you guys have a great day.